Welcome back to the Print 3D channel. Today is March 5th, and that means day 64 of the 3DP 365 project. And on today's episode, we're going to show you how we printed out the hairy unicorn, so stick around. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me here for day 64 of the 3DP 365 project. If you're unfamiliar with the project, check out the description below. I put a facts section down at the bottom that'll give you all the details. And don't forget to check out that MatterHackers affiliate link down in the description. If you're in the market for a new printer parts, or if you just need some filament, use that MatterHackers affiliate link and it'll kick a little bit back to the channel. It doesn't cost you a penny and we really appreciate it. But on today's episode, we printed out the hairy unicorn. And for this print, we use MatterHackers PRO PLA in the color of Magenta on the all-new gMax 1.5 XT+. If you watched my video about the hairy lion, you know how awesome that turned out. And while browsing around on Thingiverse, I came across this hairy unicorn model. And I knew I had to print this because the hairy lion turned out so awesome. And the unicorn still has its protective shell on, and we have yet to style the hair. So let's head over to Thingiverse and I'll show you where to download the model. Then we'll tab over to Simplify 3D and I'll show you my settings for this print. Then we'll fire up some of that time-lapse footage and I'll meet you guys back here at the workbench. Alright, so here we are at Thingiverse. Here is the hairy unicorn model, and I'll put the link down in the description so you can download and print this one yourself. It does include a dual extrusion version, so if you have dual extruders, this is a really good model to print. And as you can see, it's been collected a few times, and it's been made a few times. And of course, we've already printed ours, so let's tab over to Simplify 3D and I'll show you my settings for this print. Alright, so here we are in Simplify 3D, and I've dropped the model down on the print bed at 100%. We're going to print it at 100%, so let me show you my process settings. Under layer height, we did a 0.2mm layer height with 3 top and 3 bottom solid layers and 3 perimeters. We also ran a brim by entering 0 in the skirt offset at 4 outlines. For infill, we only used 15% for this model, and we didn't generate any support material. For temperature, this is MatterHackers PRO PLA, so my two temperatures are 206 and 208. And under cooling, we have a 4-stage cooling system set up because when I get to the unicorn's alicorn, I want to increase my cooling. And that happens to be at layer 420. And under speed, we ran this out at 40 millimeters per second just to make sure we captured all the detail. We didn't have any problem with the hair. So let's hit OK. And let's hit prepare to print and I'll show you how it's sliced. Alright, so that was a quick little slice, and let's play this through so you can see how it prints. And you can see all the little hairs printing on that little shield in the back. And we have this really steep little overhang. And then it finishes up with the alicorn part of the unicorn. And our print turned out pretty awesome, and I'm anxious to show you the results. So let's fire up some of that time-lapse footage and I'll meet you guys back over at the workbench and we'll talk about the print. Okay, so that was a cool little bit of time-lapse footage, and here is the hairy unicorn, and I'll put some close-ups in at the end like I always do, once we finish styling the hair. The print itself turned out pretty awesome. That is a pretty steep overhang, and the gMax did an amazing job of handling that, and the rest of the detail on the unicorn turned out awesome. Even his little alicorn on the unicorn, that looks really good too. His ears, there's a little bit of fuzziness on them, but I can just scrape that off. And there is a little bit of fuzziness on the back of the alicorn, but I'll be able to take that off later. But first, we need to cut him up from his little protective shell and style his cool little hair. And of course, using that MatterHackers PRO PLA in the color Magenta was the perfect choice for our little hairy unicorn. And my gMax did an amazing job of handling this very difficult print. So let's go ahead and get our snips and cut away some of the shell and start styling the hair. Okay, so I've got my side cutters and I'm just gonna make my way through here and start cutting off some of these little hairs. And I've got my hair dryer handy, so let's go ahead and start cutting off some of these hairs. I think I'm gonna use my scissors. I think this would take too long. All right, I've got my scissors and let's go ahead and start cutting away here. All right, this is really working. I'm losing a few and I can see a few of them are snapping, but you know, it's a style. Doesn't matter how it looks. It's your own personal style and how you want this to look. As long as we have some hairs, I'm dropping quite a few on the floor here. I'm definitely going to have to get the vacuum out. Oh, I think we've got him free. Got a couple more left over here. And this is going to drop to the floor. And there we go. All right, that looks pretty good. We've still got quite a few hairs, even though I made quite a mess here on the floor. A couple of loose ones. Let's make sure they're all falling off. And I'll have to clean this up later. But next, we want to take our hair dryer and we kind of want to soften the hair up. And I kind of want the mane to kind of come over this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow the hairdryer right at it, and hopefully the heat will make it kind of move this way. So let me grab the hairdryer. Got my hairdryer, and this is going to be a little bit loud, so bear with me. Make sure it gets hot. Starting to soften up a little bit. Whoop, losing control of the hairdryer. Let's put that right there. Ooh, it's still pretty soft. And it's starting to fold over a little bit. Let's give it another blast. There we go. That's looking pretty cool. Yeah, I kind of like that. I don't want it to ruin the flatness of the model sitting flat, so I'm gonna make sure I push these out. That's looking really cool. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's give it a little blast. These are still a little straight here, so we're just gonna hit it a little bit. Just kind of get in there and kind of bend those over. I don't want to break them because they will get brittle after a little bit. All right, I think that looks pretty cool. All right, so there we have it. There is our little hairy unicorn. And that turned out really, really awesome. I am really happy with those results. Well, that about wraps it up for day 64 of the 3DP 365 project. I hope you found this episode interesting and informative. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share those videos, and join me again tomorrow for the very next episode of the 3DP 365 project. This really turned out awesome, and I'm really happy with the way this looked, and I really love this hairy effect.